Hi, Walter Darkos here. Alright, so here we are. New week, new month, new project, everything is new. Alright, so let's see what we got here. This is first week. We are supposed to be blocking animation. Blocking means putting in the most important poses, those storytelling poses that are pretty much describing what's going to happen in our shot, right? Now, before actually I dive in animation, I have to say that as you can see, I open your regular Play Blast that I found zipped on FSO, because when I went on where are you, Walter, here, right? So you did post, but something wasn't correct, and I can see that actually your address looks a bit different. The other ones have that playground. I don't know if you did follow my instructions on this welcome letter that I sent you. Please go back and try to read it carefully, and you will see that there is a link that you're supposed to put in the address. This one, it looks different. And maybe that's the reason why it didn't work, because when I, when I wanted to open, I got this, and when I put in my, password and address, it says that my password is not correct. So something's wrong there. Yeah. So let's go back to that Play Blast now. Okay, before I go there, why actually I not just that I prefer, but it's official school's site where animators are posting their stuff, and let's say if I open Play Blast that is actually through the Sync Sketch, then I can, what I can do is I can draw, and that is a big plus, because as I'm talking and describing what I think, I can also sketch, and I can help you even better with my sketch. Sometimes actually I do even scribbled animation, so that it's easier for me to as you can see, right? So it's easier for me to describe what I'm trying to say, right? It's easier to critique animation, because, well, as you can see, animation is visual art, and just talking, it's it's good, but if you can even help and fortify it with a drawing and sketch, it's great, much better, especially now when we are actually communicating on the long distance, when this is not face to face in the lab or in a classroom. So that definitely would be nice if we can. Let me just get rid of this. All right. That much about that. Here is regular Play Blast, and I just can talk. So, well, let's talk. Your character starts here, ends up here, and it really feels very linear, very flat. It feels as I'm watching game, Mario Brothers game, something like that, early ones, where everything is happening left or right. There is no animation going in depth away from us or towards us, and that's why it feels so, well, flat. We do not do that. I mean, we are always trying to figure out more dynamic angles so that the action looks even bigger than in real life. So I don't know exactly how I would deal with your scene. It's really up to you. I might suggest maybe that, you know, as your character starts, you know, maybe, and as you can see, it's really far and it's small, you know, so it has to be bigger. We want really to show animation. You know, you're an you know, future animator, and you want to show off your skills. And if your character is like a flea on the screen, then it's really hard to impress anybody with that, you know. So usually we are suggesting 3/4 angle towards the camera. So in this case, probably I would put the camera somewhere like here from 3/4, and then the size, the camera view would be something like this. You know, the problem is that you didn't send me Maya file that is also required, so I cannot really go in and try to set up camera as I think that would be better. So try to, you know, reconstruct this, what I'm trying to describe, right? So this size with the camera being moved in this corner, looking at that person here. So maybe after he, or actually she runs off to here, you see, just before squash, maybe we can now actually sooner, because you're gonna run away from that starting camera view. Maybe you know, as she starts running here, then maybe we switch and we have a camera somewhere here, not on the balcony, but 3/4 again, maybe shooting down or and something, so that we can see very dramatic, getting close to this position, then leap up. I think that would be cool, maybe if we can see that from the top, you know, from 3/4 of the top. And I don't know, there might be actually need also for third camera here, you know, again looking at this angle, because one camera setup definitely is not gonna work. So that's about setup. Now let's talk actually about animation. So we have a character that is full of controls. So this is not the way to show off your animation. All right. So next time, deselect the controls. This is really unprofessional, showing the controls to, you know, when you go in theater and you watch an animated movie, do you see controls on them? I guess not, right? So there is no need for supervisor or for director of the movie to see those controls when they are watching a character, because it's just a clutter all around. No need for it. It's just one button click away from being you know, clean. All right, so the character here is looking around and wants to start running. There is a bit problem right here. I don't know if you had any video reference, because you didn't send me, but when as she is moving left and right, it really feels like, for example, this front foot being glued on the floor, and it doesn't really feel like it's part of the upper leg. There's so much movement in that ankle, but the foot is like she's standing on the glue. So maybe you can do something about that when she's almost like pulling that foot. Maybe that heel should go a little bit off off the ground, and maybe a little rocking, and a little bit, just a little bit, just at the same time giving the impression that its foot is part of the lower leg. Now, when this character starts running, it starts running with the wrong leg. Why I'm saying that? Well, because if you have and I want you actually to try. If you have one leg, in this case, a right leg, okay, so put your right leg in front of you, just like this, right? And now try to jump by starting with that front leg. Lift off. Do that. Let me see how that will go. I don't think so. So that leg, this one, has to be the one that will actually push the character off, not this one. This one is pushing the character off the ground. Also, when she finally here get pushed off, the pose as a pose looks very dynamic. I like it. But you notice how the back foot moved? Well, if it moved, who actually pushed the character off the ground? It looks like somebody pulled it with a, invisible string or something. This foot here has to stay here, not going forward. It has to stay here, and it's pushing up the character. The character is, on this. This is the only spot that is connected with the ground, and that's the pivotal point of pushing up. So, this character should be moved a little bit back to fit this position. But the problem, like I said, is that you started with a wrong leg. Then the character is running, but the problem with this run is that it's running, look, it's running in one line. How come the character is not going up and down, up and down? It should go up and down even more than in real life, because we are supposed to be exaggerating stuff, right? So after this, there should be one pose that is on the top of that arc. So if this foot is still connected, actually I guess it's not, right? Okay, so this one should be on the top of the arc, this one. So you should, with this pose, you should define that arc. So I would pull it higher, so that because look, here the character hits the ground, but the head is on the same level, or actually even lower than here. That's why it's not working. This one should be like here, almost like a head taller than here on the contact. Now on the contact here, the front leg should be more straight. So there is a bigger change between this straight leg and the squash. From squash, we go for next push-off. Now that push-off also should be not just linear towards the left side, but should go upward, right, to create that arc. Also notice how this foot is moving forward. You have a slide here on the foot. Again, this foot, the toes should be exactly where they are on the previous pose. Now this one with both legs up in the air should be on the top of the arc. Down. Now we have to look at the line of action, where actually this character is jumping. He is coming from, she is coming from here, right? So with this arc, as she dives down, she will jump this way. So in your case, it looks like she's jumping up. It doesn't look like she wants to jump here. It looks like she wants to jump somewhere here. So this head should go, instead of there, should go here. This should be line of action, not this way. So push the character, lean it more towards this rail over here. You notice how your spacing is not correct, because if she leaps, you see how big spacing between this pose and that pose is, right? Spacing is bigger. That means she is moving faster, and she should move faster because she just pushed herself off the ground, right? She's fighting gravity force. She needs a strength, she needs a force to get off the ground. But then here, what is how she can slow down in the middle of the air and then she moves again? Like that's not realistic. Plus, notice how this foot is being stuck. Is it possible? No. For a moment, I thought that actually she jumped with this foot on the wall. You know, like the parkour people jumping. But then whole pose would have to be a bit different. It's not giving us idea that she jumped over there. Or is she? Because there is no change in her upper body, head or torso at all. That would give us idea that she jumped on the wall and then now she's planning to bounce off the wall and get up. That would have to be done with a different posing. Now I'm not really sure which way actually you were doing. Is that she's leaping from here all the way up here, what is completely possible, especially in animation. It can look very convincing, you know. Of course, if we would make that she would jump over here, that would be crazy. That wouldn't be, you know, easy to convince anybody. But here it would be fine. But if you want to do something like a parkour thing, where she would jump on the wall first and then that's a bit different. Now I'm really confused. I can't say which one way you were planning to. By not moving this foot, it's telling me that maybe that foot is on the wall, and because I don't have my file, I cannot see it. Now this anticipation here should be also a little bit bigger, and then thrust forward. When she's doing this, you're not moving her feet at all. I'm 100% sure that this kind of movement would definitely affect moving her feet. All right, so we cannot forget the feet. We should not use exactly the same pose, just moving forward, because that's results in a very stiff, rigid movement. So there should be some kind of difference between this one and this one. Is that the end of the story, or you're planning to do more? I mean, it doesn't feel like the end of the scene, although you were supposed to block out the whole scene from start to the end for this week. Well, that's pretty much all what I have to say. So please try to follow the notes and read that welcome letter once again, how and what to submit on that submission form, character animation submission form. All right? And please no controls next time on the character. Thank you.